So, as I mentioned, I've got copies here for the Communication Guidelines handout. Okay. And actually, Natalie, I'm going to kind of look over with you because I forgot to make a copy for me. And, basically, we have a lot of material that we're going to be covering in the next few weeks, And one of the things that we found to be incredibly effective is to go over communication guidelines, the way that we're, ideally supposed to communicate with one another. And this has some guidelines that a lot of adolescents and their parents have found to be very, very effective. And what I'm going to do is just go over these things with you briefly, and then what I would like to do is get a commitment from both of you that we're going to try to do that. And then once I get commitments from you, what will happen is as we go through the course of therapy, I'll point those things out. So for example, Mom, where you it looked like you almost rolled your eyes back at one point, you'll notice that that's on there, and that is, avoiding rolling your eyes back and using negative facial expressions. And, that's important, right? Because if we are able to, keep our eyes straight focused on the person, it shows respect, and it shows that we're not judging, which is consistent with what the goals, some of the goals that you were wanting. So, but it goes both ways. Chances are that you might have some of that or a little of that in you too, especially after maybe seeing your mom doing that. Mom, maybe she did that first, but it doesn't matter. The important thing is that we're going to work on that. So can I get a commitment that we're going to try to keep our eyes forward, and you'll be okay with that, Mom?
Yes.
How about you?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Another thing on here is avoiding interruptions. Now, I didn't really see that, which is fantastic so far. But if you notice that someone goes ahead and is talking, what we're going to try to do is wait for that person to finish, wait for a pause, and when that pause comes in, we'll then go ahead and start talking. And, that's been shown to be very effective. But at the same time, we're going to try to do another guideline, which is not to talk for more than a minute. So if you find yourself talking for more than a minute, quiet, and then look at the other person and ask them for feedback. Because chances are, if you talk for more than a minute, you've already lost the person anyway. They're no longer listening to you, and it's just not an efficient way of communication. Does that sound like a thing that you guys can focus on?
Interesting.
Okay. Avoiding saying no. This is mostly, along the lines of parents. Like adolescents might ask their parents for something, and their parents say, no, I'm not going to do it. But it also goes the other way too, right? Like you might ask your daughter to do something, she might say no. Well, no terminates conversation. It's not a good way of moving toward goals, right? So the best way to do that is to say, what part, however small, is it that you can see yourself being able to accomplish, and trying that. Does that sound good? Both of you would be willing? Okay. Avoiding swearing, shouting, use of sarcasm, spiteful statements that are hurtful. A lot of times those come in when we're really upset, and so certainly that would be something that we'll try to avoid. Does that sound like a good one to do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And avoiding talking about past problems or weaknesses, and instead talking about solutions to kind of move us in a direction that's more strength-based, that's more positive. Does that sound like something we can do?
Yeah.
Okay, now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Staying focused on specific desired actions, not being critical, or talking about negative attitudes, because they're real vague anyway, and no one can really kind of move forward with that. So what is it that you like? Or what is it that you desire? In fact, we'll actually be talking about some strategies to learn how to make our requests positive. Does that sound like something?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's be very helpful.
Beautiful. And then speaking a soft and conversational tone of voice, so of course not raising our voice. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I will
Okay.
try.
Just looking back here to make sure I got all of them. I think I did. Did I get all of them?
Yeah, it looks like you did.
Okay, fantastic. So we are done with that. Now what I want to do is just go over your helpfulness ratings.